Our game of the week features a classic SDC matchup between two very good programs. We're gonna get into that later on in the video. As we open up with the SEC on CBS Intro, welcome to week this week 6 already? I think this is week 6 already. Holy crap. So we're already about halfway through the year, and we already have a mix up in a lot of gray areas in the college football world. So we're gonna get started. We're gonna start off with a rivalry game at the Cotton Bowl. As always, the Red River rivalry, or as it's now called, the Red River Showdown between the Texas Longhorns and the Oklahoma Sooners. This one is interesting because if we look at the history of these two teams, Oklahoma has owned Texas for the past few years now. And Oklahoma is struggling this year. Like I said, Oklahoma 0-2 in the conference. If they go 0-3, kiss their Big 12 title chances goodbye, as everyone would call. There is no shot that Oklahoma can pull off consecutive wins from now to the end of the year, especially with an Iowa State team that's waiting to greet them in Jack Trice Stadium. They haven't been decided on what time that game is, but I'm pretty sure it is going to be a nightcap because Iowa State in the nightcap is always a tough opponent. But we're not talking that now. That's later on. We're talking Texas and Oklahoma. I picked Texas last year, and Texas completely and utterly flippin' embarrassed me. I'll move over just a little bit. Embarrassed me because they had a big lead. They're not doing it again this year. I'm picking. Let's see if I get the right orange here. I'm picking Texas in this one. I just don't see. I don't see how Oklahoma is able to recover. If they don't recover, then there's no shot at them winning. Moving on down, we have the Fox Big Noon kickoff game of the week. Michigan, who just came off a dominant performance over the Iowa Hawkeyes, traveling to Bloomington to take on Indiana. Now, this one, I don't know why they're hyping this game up to be that big of a deal. Because, I mean, look at that. Why is Fox Big Noon at this game? There's another game later on Fox that I would classify as the bigger game. But they decided to go to Bloomington, in which I just absolutely question for the bloody life of me. So, but yeah, looking at the spread, it's a 22.5-point favorite. How do you not pick Michigan? Like, how do you not pick the Wolverines in this one? Like, come on. Like, I picked them last week over Iowa. I'm going to pick them again this year. There's just no shot that Michigan can pull off a win. There's no shot that Michigan has any flaws in this game. We're going to come back to this one because this one is our game of the week, as I said, Tennessee and LSU. We'll come right back to it. But moving on down, you have another candidate for game of the week. We decided to not do it. It's the TSU Horned Frogs and the Kansas Jayhawks. Kansas ranked for the first time since 2009, but I got a little ripe with that. They had way too many flaws in their game against Iowa State. They barely escaped with the win. I honestly think they are overrated if you're talking me personally. So with that being said, I'm actually going to go black, and I'm going to pick purple. Nope, that's pink. And I'm going to take the TCU Horned Frogs in this one. I just don't see Kansas doing much in the Big 12. Yes, they've surprised everyone by going 5-0. But TCU is also 4-0 right now because they had a bye week within the first 6 weeks of the season. Well, 7 weeks if you count week 0. But yeah, I'm picking TCU in this one. Moving on down, you have Arkansas and Mississippi State. I just don't see. Arkansas was ranked a couple weeks ago. I think they can get back to that. Unfortunately, I just don't see that happening on the road against a good Mississippi State team who just came off a loss to Alabama. No, they've yet to play Alabama. Arkansas is the one that came off the loss to Alabama. I think does Mississippi State play Alabama this year? They do in a couple weeks, actually. So in 2 weeks, that Alabama and Mississippi State game. If Kentucky, if uh if Mississippi State can beat Kentucky, then definitely a shot at an upset against Alabama. But we're not talking that game. We are talking Arkansas, Mississippi State. And with this game, I just cannot see any flaws behind the maroon crew of Mississippi State over there. And next up, you have Cincinnati and UCF. I don't see any flaws behind Cincinnati. I really don't. So with that being said, I'm just going to take Cincy right off the bat. I just really don't see. They haven't done. I mean, yes, they had the one bad game which knocked them out, but a USF team that hasn't shown much offense at all year long, I don't see how that's a possibility of an upset there. Quick drink break, and we're back, and we got UGA and Auburn. SEC's oldest rivalry right here between the Auburn Tigers and the Georgia Bulldogs. So, taking a look at this one, Georgia is heavily favored. It is in where is this at? Where is that? It is in Athens. Auburn just has not been good all year. Yes, they are 3-2, but I think they're the worst 3-2 team on the year. I think if you, this is only biased opinion as me being an Iowa State fan. I think you could send Iowa State down to play Auburn, and Auburn would find a way to lose that game. So with that being said, you just gotta go with the Georgia Bulldogs. You gotta go with the Bulldogs. I'm just gonna do the big red there because I don't want to stick with the same color as Cincinnati there. Moving on down, you have Texas Tech and Oklahoma State. Now this one, oh shit, I didn't do that. I did not just do that. I did that. I flippin' did that. Is everyone else right? Utah. I just put the wrong game. Okay, let me go grab it really quick. Hold on. Pause. Where is it? There it is. And we got it. Okay. So I just put the wrong link into the game. My bad. We can look here. Oklahoma State undefeated on the year. And then you have Texas Tech, who has some upset wins on the year. We have to remember that. They do have the win against Texas, but so they have 2 wins against top 25, 2 wins and 2 losses against top 25 opponents. But it looks like anything higher than 20, well, I mean, I can't really say anything higher than 20. I could technically say anything higher than 25 because they beat Houston at 25, but then turn around and lose to Kansas State at 25. And Oklahoma State coming off a solid performance over the Baylor Bears. A Big 12 rematch in the books there, maybe. I'm not gonna vote that out, but with Oklahoma in this game being in Oklahoma State, I gotta pick the Cowboys here. Yes, I respect the absolute hell out of this one right there. I respect I'm gonna do a darker gold here. I'm gonna do a darker orange here. Oh no, that's right. That's right. I'm gonna do Oklahoma State. That's not my lock though. I will do my lock later on. Actually, I'm gonna do this. I'll make this white. There we go. That now you can tell the difference. So yeah, Oklahoma State's gonna be my pick in that one. I just don't see Texas Tech doing much against any other top 25 opponent. Yes, they did beat 2 of them, but You're asking to play 6, 2, 3, 4. No, you're asking to play a 5th one, and you're asking to play a top one. So yeah, I don't see that one being much. Moving on down, you have Utah and UCLA. I see a really close matchup in here. UCLA pulled off an upset win. Who was it over? It was over Washington. That's the reason why they're ranked. And Utah's only loss on the year is against Florida. And that was a close game. I predicted Florida to win that game. This one, Utah, you've won my heart over. I'm picking you guys to win this week. I just don't see I don't see how actually I'm gonna do gray so that way I can actually distinguish my pick. I don't see UCLA doing much as a top 25 team. Also like Oregon later on down. I just don't see Oregon or UCLA being good in the top 25. I really don't. It's like when they reach the top 25, they get flimsy and then they spit around and then all of a sudden it's just out the door. Moving on down, you have North Carolina traveling down to Miami to take on the Hurricanes. This one, I threw it here because the spread was 3.5. Gosh dang it, yawns. The spread was 3.5. And that's why I threw this game. But the percentage is 67.2. This game could go either way. This is Miami's first conference game of the year. And I mean, North Carolina with their first conference win over Virginia Tech. And Miami is also coming off a loss to Middle Tennessee, so they're going to be a little bit hungry here. I'm going to pick the Hurricanes here. I just kind of hope that where's the green that I want here? That one. And then the orange. I just hope that Miami can pull off can actually perform as because they're hungry for a win. They started the season off perfect, and then they had 2 tough losses. One of them being to a team they should have won. So moving on down now, you have Ole Miss and Vanderbilt. Vandy has been god awful this year. I mean, look at that. Yes, they're 3-2, but let's go back and look at their wins here. Hawaii and Northern Illinois. And Northern Illinois was only a 10-point win. And then Elon was only an 11-point win. You can't do that. You can't do that against teams like Ole Miss here. If you do that, you're just asking to give yourself a big loss. So I'm picking Ole Miss in this one. Like I don't see any other reason why Ole Miss shouldn't win this game. I should flip that. That's a little bit better. So next up, you have Washington and Arizona State. Now, Washington coming off a very, very uncharacteristic loss to UCLA. But then again, I did watch a little bit of that game. Washington gave UCLA way too many chances in that game. And then they did fight back, which is why they're probably still ranked. So, it's... I don't know. I mean, and going into an Arizona State team that's hungry for a win. I mean, look at all their games this year. A win against NAU, a loss to a ranked opponent, lost to Eastern Michigan, and then lost to both Utah and USC. So they had another tough opponent going down to Tempe, Arizona, for Sun Devils. I cannot see Washington pulling off I can't see Washington winning at all in this one. So I'm going to take I don't see what am I saying? I don't see Arizona State doing much. So actually, you know what? I'm making Washington my lock of the week. I just don't see how That was way too yellow. Nope, wrong form. Which one is it? That one? Yeah. Okay. Washington is going to be my lock of the week. I'm going to put an L next to it because I'm kind of confused on this one. I'm going to put an L next to it for to stand for lock. Yeah, I just don't see Arizona State doing well, and that one's kind of a toss up for me. Moving on down, you have Clemson and Boston College. Boston College has had an okay year this year. Yes, they're 2-3, but if we look at their games, yes, Florida State was terrible, and yes, Virginia Tech was bad too. 3 of their losses, and then they beat Maine. Well, I mean, okay, never mind. I take my comment back. Boston College has had a really off year this year, barely escaping the win against Louisville. What are they going to do against a 5-0 Clemson team who's looking for their first college football playoff appearance since the absence of Trevor Lawrence? I just do not see them doing much. So with that being said, I'm taking the Clemson Tigers in this one. I'm going to just do the orange. Actually, no, I'll do the purple because then you can definitely tell the difference there. I'm going to take Clemson in that one. Moving on down, you have Washington State and USC. This one, yeah, this one's too easy to call. I gotta pick the Trojans in here. I gotta go quickly for these next couple here. So we're gonna pick. So we're gonna go yellow, and then we're gonna pick red. So we're gonna pick USC in that one. That one looks perfect for the USC Trojans. I like that. Moving down, you have South Carolina and Kentucky. Okay, South Carolina. Let's take a look here. Absolutely didn't show up against Georgia. Kind of showed up against Arkansas, but you're talking a weaker team. But so kind of a yeah. And then you get an easy win against Charlotte, and then a dominant win over your in-state rival in South Carolina State. Even though I don't even classify that as a rivalry because they barely play each other anyway. And then looking at Kentucky coming off the close L to Mississippi to Ole Miss. This one is going to be interesting because I see that South Carolina can pull off an upset. They can. Look at this number. Look at number 16. That's Arkansas, and then Georgia. That's just Georgia. Like, obviously a completely different team here. So I'm actually might pick my upset here. I'm gonna pick. Oh, wrong one. I'm gonna pick my upset here. I'm gonna pick South Carolina. That Kentucky team. And no, actually, I'm gonna play it safe. I'm gonna keep it with Kentucky over here. The blue and the black. I'm gonna stick with Kentucky there. Moving down, you have BYU and Notre Dame. Another good matchup that you have here. BYU has been up and down all year, and then but they're going on the road, and they have issues playing on the road. Yes, they beat USF, and then it's USF, and then you travel to Oregon, and then lose. So you're talking a Notre Dame team that's hungry for a win after a loss to Marshall after being ranked, and then to an Ohio State team, and then you go on to win against Cal and then North Carolina. I can see Notre Dame winning this one. I'm actually going to pick Notre Dame. In this one. Where's one what's the color I want to use here? I want to use this one. And then the light. Well, actually, yeah. That works. And then the dark blue. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, we're gonna pick Notre Dame in this one. That's just I hope that I'm right on that one because BYU can beat a top 25, can beat can be beaten as a top 25 opponent, I should say. And moving on down, you have Wake Forest and Army, the Black Knights. Oh God, what is going on with this team? Having a terrible year as an FBS independent, and Wake Forest taking a quick minor step outside of the ACC to welcome Army into their stadium. Army's just been, I don't know. Their only win was against Villanova, and that's it. Like this team, I don't know what to do with this team. I really don't. I'm picking Wake Forest in this one. So we're gonna do black and then the dark gold for Wake Forest. I just do not see anything going right for Wake Forest. Or Army, excuse me. I don't see anything going right for Army here. Moving on down, you have a very intriguing matchup here that I'm actually really excited. It's Texas A&M traveling to Montgomery to take on the Crimson Tide. Now, yes, get rid of all those. Now, yes, Alabama is a heavy, heavy, heavy favorite here. But if we look back to last year's game, this one, like I said, go back to last year's game. This game ended with a game-winning field goal when Texas A&M was not ranked, but in their barn, and it's Tuscaloosa. My bad, not Montgomery. Honest to God, I mean, yes, it's a 24-point favorite, but I honestly can see A&M pulling off the win. But I'm gonna play it safe and pick the Crimson Tide here. But don't be surprised if Alabama does find a way to lose this football game. Do not be surprised. Moving on down to the second 7 o'clock game of the night. It's FSU and North Carolina State or NC State. I can see Florida State pulling off an upset here. I'm saving my upset because I know what game I want to use it on. But actually, would it even be classified as an upset? No, I don't think it will. I might use it here. But I could see Florida State, like I said, I could see Florida State pulling off the upset here. They do have 2 extra conference games over NC State here. Excuse me. And their one loss came to a very close, tight fight with Wake Forest. So, like I said, I'm picking Florida State in this one. This one is this one's going to be a dogfight, and I just see Florida State pulling off a win here. But that's not my upset. My upset's still coming. Next up, you have Oregon and Arizona. I do not see Arizona doing jack diddly squat against this Oregon team. So I'm going to pick the Ducks here. Oh, what? Wrong one. Green and then yellow. And then now to the 3 Iowa games, and then our game of the week. You have Kansas State traveling to Jack Trice to take on the Cyclones. This is a nightcap, which means Iowa State is going to wear their blackout jerseys. And when Iowa State dons those, something clicks. And with that being said, my upset of the week is Iowa State over Kansas State. Let's look at this really quick here and I'll give my explanation here. K-State, Iowa State see a lot of each other in themselves. Kansas State's a 2-point favorite. But let's look at their opponents here. A loss to Baylor and a loss to KU for Iowa State. Both of those, I cannot blame Iowa State at all. Iowa State played to the best of their ability in both games. Both of them. The Baylor game was completely botched by the refs. There was way too many missed calls on that one. Kansas, I wasn't able to watch much of that game, but I do know. But what I've heard, there was also some calls there that were really questionable. Like an ineligible man downfield is now a reviewable penalty. Yeah, you got me on that one. But it also came down to the special teams for Iowa State. That's a really touchy subject this week. I don't know why. I seen that in the Des Moines Register this week. But special teams was a very touchy subject for Iowa State all fans all week long, and it kind of shows here. It really shows because, like I said, that field goal gets made. This score will at least be one team with 14 or with more. Who knows? And then Kansas State coming off a win against Oklahoma, plus a close win against Texas Tech. But you got to think this game is in Jack Trice Stadium in Ames. So you never know. So you don't know what's going to happen in the under the lights at Jack Trice because when the lights come on, Iowa State plays differently, and we all know that. Moving on down, you have Iowa traveling to Illinois. Now, I picked Michigan last week. I really did. Michigan won. Now, Iowa, yes, they have an easier opponent, but not by much. Illinois coming off wins against Wyoming, Virginia, Chattanooga, which we do not really technically count because it is an FCS team, and then a dominant win over a Wisconsin team that's struggling. And if you look at teams that are struggling, what's the one team that comes to mind? Iowa. And I'm not trying to hate on Iowa fans here. I really am not. Just because I'm a Cyclones fan, we only beat you by 3 points. You guys could have easily tied that game with the field goal, but no one practiced kicking in the rain. So you never knew how that game was going to end. Turn around with a win against Nevada, and then a win against Rutgers. And then Michigan comes knocking and says, "Woohoo! Big summer blowout!" And then absolutely runs through you guys. So I'm trying to figure out how Iowa could possibly win this game. I just do not see. I don't see how Iowa can win this game. So I hate to do it, but I'm actually going to side with Illinois here. It's really hard to see Iowa performing well against any good team anymore. It really is. Yes, Iowa State, not really that good of a team right now, but like, you have to have offense to back up a great defense, and Spencer Petras just has not been the answer for Iowa all year. Second to last game, you have Illinois State traveling to the Unidome to take on the Northern Iowa Panthers. This one is interesting to call, to be honest. Northern Iowa coming off back-to-back wins for the first time all year, started the year off 0-3. But they're turning it around here. You got the win over Western Illinois and then Indiana State. And now you're welcoming a Illinois State Redbirds who are hungry for a win after a really close loss to Southern Illinois. And don't mind the weather here because this is in a dome. So that's not going to mean crap. That will not mean anything for this game. So I'm going to stick local with this one. I'm going to pick the Panthers to win this. But don't be surprised if Illinois State does end up pulling off the win. Finally, our game of the week. Back up here, you have Tennessee and LSU. Tennessee is wearing their blacks on the road during a day game. Honestly, personal opinion, that's some bad juju. You don't wear blacks unless it's a night game. But LSU likes to wear white. Sorry for scratching my eye. LSU likes to wear white as the home team. I don't know why, but they do. So this one is going to be an actual dogfight. Tennessee, highest that they've been ranked since, oh god, I don't even remember. But they're at the highest rank they've been since, I don't even remember. But then again, it's LSU climbing back from being unranked for the first time since Joe Burrow left. Well, no. Yeah. Yeah? Yeah, for the first time since Joe Burrow was quarterback of LSU. This one is a close game. It really is. But I have to stick with my locals, with my local NFL team, with the New Orleans Saints. I am gonna pick the LSU Tigers in this one. That's like I'll keep it like that. I just don't see I can see Tennessee putting up a fight, but that LSU crowd will not do much. But that's my selections. Now, the big reveal. Elijah, what did you pick today, bud? Okay. So we're basically even here. Okay, so we're basically even here. So he has Iowa as his lock. Wait. Oh no. Wait, which one's his lock? I'm gonna see which one his lock is. So we'll go over his predictions while he puts in his lock, because oh no, never mind. Never mind. Never mind. So yeah, I just realized UNC is UNC would be flipping teal. So he's got Texas, Michigan. He has LSU as his upset, which surprises me. And then he's got TCU, Mississippi State, Cincy, Georgia, Oklahoma State, Utah, UNC, Ole Miss, Washington, Clemson, USC, Kentucky. He went with blue. I went with black. That's interesting. And then Notre Dame, Wake Forest, Bama. He went with NC State, and I went with FSU. So that one might be, actually, I might be wrong on that one. He's got Oregon, and he's picked Kansas State. Really? So it looks like we have another week where we pick against our rivals. Like I said, I just don't see Iowa doing much. I really don't. But what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments down below, and we're gonna restart this as we close out the selections of the week. We'll close it out with CBS, with the SEC on CBS intro. Thank you guys for tuning in, guys. I'm gonna sign off for now. Let me know your predictions down in the comments below. Maybe you guys have some better predictions than I do. Maybe you have better predictions than Elijah does. Maybe you're undefeated on the year. If you're undefeated, I question you. I really do. But until next time, guys, I'm going to sign off for now. I'll catch you guys later. See ya.